In this lecture, we're going to create a game object. Before doing so, the question is, what is a game object? Understanding the idea of a game object is absolutely crucial. It's a fundamental building block in Unity game development. So, what is a game object? A game object can be thought of as a container. This begs the question, a container for what? The answer is anything. Initially, game objects are completely empty. They don't represent anything in our game. By themselves, they're not helpful. Unity gives us the power to extend game objects with custom behavior. We can load a 3D model with a game object, or we can attach audio to a game object. UI elements can be handled with game objects too. Essentially, anything inside your game is represented by a game object. It is a fundamental unit in your game's scenes. Let's learn how to create a game object. In the Unity editor, right-click anywhere in the hierarchy window. We are given a list of options for creating various objects. To get started, we're going to create an empty object. Click the Create Empty option. After doing so, a new object has been added to the hierarchy. If we were to look at the scene, nothing would be visible. That's to be expected. As stated earlier, game objects are completely empty. They don't have a visual or audible representation. If we click on the game object, we can view the details from the inspector. From the inspector, we can change the name of the game object. Let's set the name to My First Game Object. If you press the Enter key, the name will be updated. If you're on a Mac, this would be the Return key. After updating the name, the hierarchy window has updated the name to reflect the changes. In some cases, we may want to disable the game object. Next to the input for the name, there's a checkbox. Toggling this checkbox disables or enables the game object. This feature can help remove distractions while editing another game object. In some cases, you may need to test a game object without another game object causing interference. To be truthful, the game object we've created is dull. Let's try creating a game object with a 3D model. First, we should delete our current game object. From the hierarchy, select the new game object we've created. Next, press the Delete key to remove it from the scene. Great! Now we can create a 3D object. Unity offers basic 3D editing features. It wasn't designed to completely design models. Typically, designers will use other programs for creating models. Some examples of software are Blender, 3ds Max, and ZBrush. Models created from these programs can be imported into a game. So, why does Unity offer 3D modeling capabilities? If you're on a team, your designer may not have a model ready. It takes time to design a proper model for a game. Valuable time can be wasted if you're waiting for a model. Rather than wait for a model, you can use Unity's 3D objects to act as a placeholder. It's completely possible to swap logic from one model to another. That's not to say that you can't create a fun game with Unity's basic 3D objects. Generally, a lot of developers treat them as placeholders. In the hierarchy, right-click to open a menu. From the menu, select 3D Object Cube. Voila! We've got a cube in our game. The cube should be viewable from the scene window. If not, you can hover your mouse over the scene window. Next, press the F key on your keyboard. This action causes the window to focus on the selected game object. If we were to look at the inspector, the name of the object has been set to cube. Make no mistake, this is still a game object. Unity renames it on your behalf. You may wonder, is the camera and light source also a game object? The answer is yes. All content displayed under the hierarchy is considered to be game objects. We can create various types of game objects by right-clicking on the hierarchy. As you can see, we can create audio game objects, image game objects, video game objects, etc. In the next lecture, let's start interacting with the game objects from the scene.